Everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zee Garcia. Hi, good morning.
I'm Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
We're doing crowd surfing a little earlier today because me and Zee are heading out this afternoon, so we want to get this done before we left. Because it seems like Kickstarter games are starting to come back in a little. You know, we're starting to see more and more games go on Kickstarter. There's always that summer lull. And summer's over for much of America and the world. I don't know if it's over here yet.
Well, I mean, it's over. You know, if you go by what summer means.
Yeah.
Like
Does it feel like summer's over outside?
No.
As far as temperature is concerned.
No.
I walked outside yesterday and I was like, why am I doing this?
What, walking outside?
Yeah, well, no, I decided to take a walk.
Why am I leaving my abode?
I know, right?
Alrighty, well, we're going to jump right into this because we're going to get going. So we're going to start here with what we found on Kickstarter this week. Alrighty, here we go. We'll start with one of the biggest Kickstarters going on right now, and this is Merchant's Cove.
There you go, Oliver.
Oh, Oliver said, have we covered it yet? Well, this is only 7 hours from us recording this video. But this one looks...
What are we talking about?
Merchant's Cove. This one looks really cool.
It does.
It has a lot of cool ships, but there's one worry I have about it.
Okay, what is it?
Please tell me.
The company.
What's the company?
Final Frontier Games.
Okay.
Their stuff, so of the games that they've done so far, they have done Colonia, which I don't think has been delivered yet, Rise of Nobility, which I wasn't a big fan of, Robin Hood and the Merry Men, which I've heard
I liked it.
you liked it, but I'm telling you, this has got a lot of negativity, this game.
Of course it does. I liked it.
Cavern Tavern, also not that great. It wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't a great one either. So I'm just worried, that's all about it.
But I will say, of all their games, the games tend to look good.
Oh.
They're well made.
No question on that.
Yeah.
So, this is my pick of the week.
Sorry, I didn't mean to douse Z's pick of the week so
My
early.
pick of the week, too. Who's in the minority now, sucker?
I don't care. It looks good. I'm not arguing that. I just worry that I'm hoping the rules are better than the last set.
I'm hoping it's a good game, and that's really the only reason I picked it is because it looks good.
Yep.
I like the look of it. I like how much content there seems to be in it. Every time as I kept scrolling past it, I kept seeing more and more stuff. There's those little boats with marbles in them, and I'm like, what is this? And what's that? And look, more things.
So it's like each player has their own set of stuff.
Yeah, so it looks neat to me. I hope it's good. For that, I have no idea about. I also like this artist.
Why are Rick and Morty in here?
That's not Rick and Morty. That
Not
is
Rick and
Marty
Morty.
McFly.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That is definitely Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But I love, if you scroll up a little bit, this made me laugh. Go on, keep going. There you go. Olaf Thundercrack. And yeah, the mouse cursor is right where...
Oh, my word.
It made me laugh so hard.
All right. Well, again, you know what it looks like? It looks like an upgraded version of Pirates Cove, a game you just scoffed at the other day.
Hopefully this is much better than that. And this part here made me think of Ex Libris a little bit. I don't know. Again, it just seems to be a lot in there. Hopefully it all comes together into a good game.
There was a lot in Robin Hood and the Merry Men. There was a lot of stuff in there. So, again, it was... I liked the game, but there was a lot. I mean, they threw everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah, I don't know that I always want a lot in the base game.
Right.
I'd rather you give me a nice straight base game and then say, oh, there's also other stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All righty. Well, that's already 2 picks of the week, so everything else, trash on.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but...
Cryptic Explorers, a game where they forgot that color exists.
Apparently.
Because I was going down, I was like, wait a minute. That's a lot of black and white.
They're going for a specific look.
Except that this is not the first time this has been done,
For
right?
sure. It also, I looked at some of the artwork later on, and I also worry that not only is it stylized to just be black and white, the artwork is leaving something to be desired as well.
It's It's
those are
It's that style of, it's like almost the old Conan comic books.
Actually, I was thinking
That's
more
what it
like
reminds
death
me
metal
of.
covers.
And that's what I was thinking. This looks like an album for a death metal band or something like that. And it's just not. It completely turned me off just by how it looks. The black and white thing was the first thing. I didn't like that. I was like, oh, that's just.
I like color. Like that board looks like, oh, they took a black and white picture of the board. But if that's how it looks, I'm less interested, I think.
And
I like the black and white, actually, but I don't like the artwork, if that makes sense.
No, it does, because I don't like the artwork either. The black and white was the first
Like
thing.
that
was like,
image?
blech.
I'm sorry, that is not a good illustration.
Right.
If that was done by a more accomplished artist and still black and white, I'd be like, this is an awesome looking game.
100%. That looks like someone's notebook from school.
Yeah. And they had dark thoughts.
Have these guys done any other Kickstarters? This says 3 created. So they've done something else, too. Let's see what else they've done.
Yeah.
Oh, same thing. Oh, it was unsuccessful last time.
Necronauts.
But this time, successful.
Cool.
All right. Successors. This is a very successful war game. Like, my
How many times are
word.
you going to say successful? You've said it like 5 times in the last 30 seconds.
Well, this Successors is successful. I said successfully.
You did.
And
Well done.
I'm looking for my successor. I'm out.
He is?
And then he melts into the sea.
Okay, this is from Phalanx Games, so
Yeah.
they have the reputation of making good games. It looks
Successful games,
It looks.
yeah.
This is from what I can tell. This is a successor
Go ahead.
on.
Go.
to. No. This looks like it's from Hannibal and Carthage, or now it's just called Hannibal.
Yeah.
So using that same system, and that's been a game that people have been raving about for years. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one come out. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but it looks cool. But it does look like it's another reworking of Hannibal.
And it's a long game. And I think it was 2 to 3 hours or something like
Per
that.
player.
No, not per player. Come on.
And it's 10 players.
But it's a card driven game where you can use cards for either operation points to move your stuff on the field or the event. So it's like the other games that they've had.
Yeah,
like
this was
Twilight-
kind of a
Twilight,
ancestor
Struggle.
of Twilight Struggle
Yeah.
to some degree, or Hannibal was.
So this was really, really, really close to being my pick of the week.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pulled in by the historical aspect of it. I just like it, but the time length and the kind of play that's it's probably going to be.
A lot of muscles on those miniatures.
Yeah, well, that's armor, but
Is that armor?
yeah.
Yeah, that's their
Come on,
breastplates.
man. Nobody walked
Why
around
the
with.
breastplates? I'm getting Batman 3 vibes here. All right.
But yeah, the miniatures was like, oh look, here's a dude with the helmet on, and he's standing this way, and he has this name, and here's the same dude with the helmet on, and he's standing that way, and he has a different name. They just looked very nondescript.
It's hard to, I
Alright.
guess it's hard to make these different soldiers look different. None of them can have an extra arm or anything.
Yeah, they can.
No.
Cthulhu, man.
All right, Disarm the Base is a cooperative game about disarming warplanes. So in this one, you're sneaking onto a base. This almost looks like an app, doesn't it? Like
It
the
does.
screen on
well,
that.
that sounds like they're not quite done with the look.
That always worries me. I really feel like you should be done with the look
So
before
that
you.
they've hand drawn everything.
Yeah, I don't know. This looks real. And again, I always hate saying these kinds of things because I'm like, well, that's what Kickstarter is for. Some guy with an idea who's struggling to get it done. But on the flip side of that, I don't know how much I believe in those ideas sometimes. So this looks a little too amateurish for me.
Yeah.
I like that it's a different theme.
Yeah, it's fine.
But all right.
All the iconography also looks a little plain.
But it's really weird to me that you go down here, right? And they're like, here's stuff. By the way, there's a bolt cutter. It's not even that great of art. Why are you making this the size of the page?
No.
All right. Evil Dead 2, the board game. I'm wondering if this one's going to get funded. Because their goal is 195 and they're at 120.
I know.
And they only have 60 hours to go.
It's
Oh.
possible. So this one here is from Jasco Games. They made several IP games.
Yeah.
And there was another Evil 2 board game that was not delivered. And so this was from a different company, so they promised that they will send all those backers this game, even though it's a different game than those other people backed.
Okay.
Because another Evil 2.
And those
so
people are backing this also. They're not backing it.
well, they're not backing. So like here, what it says is you pledge 59, give the gift to Evil 2, but the board game to yourself and a fellow gamer.
Got it.
So you're buying one for you and one for the person who didn't get
How
one
are they
earlier.
making money on this?
Well, I don't know if they are, but
That's why they need the fund level to be so high.
ooh, I like how that token flipped there.
Look at that.
Watch it again. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later on in the Tom
I'm
Thinks
just curious how
segment.
they're, because I mean, $59 for 2 copies of the game.
Sure.
That's got to be really close to what they're paying for it.
A lot of miniatures. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think I've ever seen Evil Dead 2.
Nope.
Mark Mclaughlin's War and Peace, another war game, not nearly as popular, even though.
Slightly bigger.
And you're about to find out why.
Wait.
Oh.
No, there's some people who like that sort
No,
of
keep
thing.
keep going. La la!
Yeah, this looks like your old
Yeah.
war game.
I know there's
It
probably a
contains
lot of people.
4 books: the rule book, the campaign book, scenarios book, and operational methods guide.
Oh boy.
There's people out there who right now
Oh,
are
yeah.
drooling.
Yeah.
This is great.
No,
And
I
again,
get
I'm
it.
glad that there is room in our hobby for this too. But whoa, this looks scary to me.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still obviously. I think this is where war games are heading, to solely Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Like a war game company, you got to
it
go to
used to be
Kickstarter to find the people.
P500
Right,
was-
right,
Which
same
is
thing.
Well,
kinda the
GMT
same
is still
thing.
doing
Yeah, but I mean,
P500s.
they've been doing that for a while.
All right. Dice Palace display and storage case for dice and miniatures.
If you have lots of extra room in your home
Yeah.
and you need to fill it with something.
Yeah.
So Mark previewed
Get
this,
one of
but
these.
I gotta be honest, this is not. I don't get it. Like I like my dice. I'm not gonna put them in a case and carry it around.
I don't think it's meant to be carried around very much. You're saying it's a display case.
Yeah, but like,
handle.
okay, so it's sitting on the, so it's sit on your thing. So I wake up in the morning, like, I get dressed, I walk over, flip it over. Today I'll use these 3 dice. Carry them in my pocket. Like, I mean, does it match my cufflinks? Yep. All right. I don't. I'm not the target audience for this, and I
Right,
love
right.
dice, but I want to
is-
use my dice. I don't want to have them in this. It's
I really
says it's a
don't.
carrying case.
I really don't think this is for dice. This is going
Well,
to
that-
be
I
used
have-
for miniatures, if anything else.
Sure, but then if you're going to use miniatures, why aren't you using War Store or Battle Foam?
Again, I
We protect your army,
understand that.
so you don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, and I totally agree with it. There's no reason for this product to be on the market.
Well, except if you
like a
have.
high-end-
In my opinion.
This is supposed to be like the high-end version of that same battle foam or whatever it may be.
I like this better, the little case for them. Again, though, my dice don't need to be protected. Okay, anyway.
You're right.
All right, free market, unique board game. By the way, this is a small pet peeve. I don't need you to tell me it's a unique board game.
No,
and
that's
that-
the name of the company.
Well, they named it after the game, right? Oh, no.
No, they
Oh, the unique board games.
yes.
Yeah, not great. Maybe they should spend more time making the game look unique.
These guys look like those Russian dolls. You know, the nest egg things?
These are the shape of the token?
The shape
Yeah.
of the token.
Babushkas.
I don't like the title of the game, Free Mark. It looks a little generic.
Actually, their font and their box cover and stuff, I thought this was a Queen game when I first
100%.
saw it.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, Queen game. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but it really looks like they copied that. But you're right, everything about this looks generic.
Which compounds the problem of calling it a unique board game at the top. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Unique
okay,
board games.
I'm
We make the most generic stuff you've ever seen.
I was hoping for something super bizarre to pop up and be like, but in this game, you play with your feet only. It's like, oh, okay. But no, it's just some Euro game that looks kind of forgettable.
So here's the actual Queen.
No, look at that. Back to back, too. That really threw me.
All right, so Clash of Vikings. This one I think was just launched. They do pretty fast Kickstarters, so it's pretty easy to miss these. Clash of Vikings is an older game, I think, that they're bringing back. It's designed by Anthony Rubo. I think they said at the top. Oh no, it's a new game.
Oh,
the other one's the third. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. This is okay looking. The board looks fine. It's Vikings, so we know Sam will like it.
Do you like it, Sam?
I do like that they put the horns on the helmets, though. They're like, we're going to lean into that one.
That's one of the reasons I didn't like it.
This is so
Seriously,
weird.
because of the horns on the helmets?
Yeah.
This is so weird, this Queen's Collection part. It's about their games.
Yeah.
And then you're playing pawns on these. It's the most blatant advertisement for other games. It's so weird.
Well, that's why you slip it in with a Kickstarter for something else.
You don't have to buy this game. We'll give it to you. Just buy this other game.
Queen already,
Kind
to
of.
me, has a negative reputation in this regard. I like Queen games a lot. So, but when you get their games, they'll come with a card for their other games. And recently, I remember showing you guys
one card of each. It's
like 20 cards in the game. It's like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with all these?
I guess they consider it just marketing, advertising.
sure.
It comes out
Sure,
of that
well,
budget,
maybe
but-
they had extras of these cards. They're like,
No.
someone, no? Okay. I bet you someone took these cards and said, I can make a game of it. And then they took it to Queen, and Queen was like, what a good idea. I bet that's what happened.
All right. All right.
Well,
All right.
I could see that.
Now we go from Queen games to Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why you were.
that's why I was singing the Blues Brothers song. Yeah.
All right.
I'm
This
a
is from
queen
Game
bee.
Trays. Or no, it's using Game Trays. I'm sorry. I like how this one looks. I like the theme of it. I'm hoping it's simple, but the $49 price, that doesn't look like a $49 game other than the miniatures.
If it comes to
Well, the
game
part that
trays,
was
it is.
worrying me is at the top, they're like, award-winning game. The award-winning family game. And again, I'm always like, okay, yes, technically you won an award, but it's like for best two-player print and play.
Oh, really?
And it's just a little, I don't
From
know.
where? Wait. Scroll back up. From where?
No, BGG, two-player.
Oh, okay.
It's a BGG two-player print and play game design contest, which means somewhere they won best game in
Right.
that contest. And that's fine. I mean, those things happen, and it's probably good. It's just, it looks, again, it doesn't look as good. I mean, the miniatures look fine.
For sure, but that's what Kickstarter's all about, You get the game looks all right. I don't dislike the look. And you throw in some minis, man. Pump
But
it
here's
up.
the thing. Once you add in those game trays, I'm back on.
Well,
But that looks
those
really
are awesome.
good.
Those are really
It looks like a
cool.
beehive. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
I know, but I mean that's part of the $49 price.
Yeah.
Too.
And then
for
in that
sure.
case, I'm back. I want to try it out.
Cool.
All right, Half Truth. This one is doing well, probably because it's designed by Richard Garfield and Ken Jennings.
Yeah.
Now, we did a version of this at one of our game shows, where basically there are 6. Oh, they're quoting me.
Get that attractive cat.
I'm a little fatter in that picture.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, I thought that could have gone in many different ways.
Say a
wrong with
thing.
that?
I mean,
Anyway, they'll have like 6 things, like which of those cities is on Route 66. And then you can bet on 1, 2, or 3. But you have to get all right. So if you're like, I definitely know that Texas is on Route 66, right? I'm pretty sure of that.
Nevada.
So I could put Texas on there, but if that's all I'm sure of, I can stop and get some points, but I can try to go for all 3.
right.
But
3
then if
right,
I
3
buzz-
wrong. Yeah.
And I like that idea. I think it's a cool concept. It's from a newer company. I like the cover of the box.
Got a good look.
This is a pretty solid looking
It has a
game.
very modern look. I like it.
I'm hoping this is like the next Wits and Wagers type thing. It could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And so I was listening. So what happened here is Richard Garfield was reading an article by Ken Jennings, or a book. He got a book from Ken Jennings, and he thought it was so interesting that he emailed him and basically said, I got this game. You want to help? He's been sitting on this game for a while, and then Ken Jennings brought in the trivia part of it. So. Gugong. Panjun Deluxe Expansion. So Gugong has been getting a lot of love, honestly. This is a game, I think you played Gugong, actually.
Yeah. It was fun. It's a good
I'm
game.
actually was surprised that you played it
Well, it's
because
an
I didn't think it was your
interesting-
style.
It's an interesting worker placement game. It's fun.
In this game, you are switching gifts with the various nobles to use the stuff on
Their
it.
abilities, yeah.
So now there's, I don't know that I played the deluxe version. I think I just played the normal version.
I just played the normal version.
Well, now here's your chance to get the deluxe and then get this expansion. And it's farmers and it's a modular expansion, which is one of my favorite ways to do it.
4 modules, I think.
Extra decrees and gift cards. That's the one I want. More stuff. I
Nice.
like that.
Yeah.
All right, Ito Deluxe Master Set. It's been a long time since I pulled Ito off the shelf.
Making a lot of money.
It is. Well, it's one of the first games I think David Turksey designed. He did Anachrony and other games. I thought the original game looked really cool, and this is my pick of the week. I like Ito a lot. A deluxe-looking version of it. Ito is essentially, it is a gamer version of Lords of Waterdeep.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know if you've ever played this one.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a worker placement game. You place your worker around. You're trying to collect weapons and different things, and then you go out on missions. Like, go assassinate the daimyo. So you need to have a certain amount of stuff to go. It's definitely a longer game than Lords of Waterdeep, but this, I like the art on
Yeah, it
this.
looks good.
I like how all the cards look.
How much is the pledge for this?
71.
It's not bad.
It's also NSKN, who is right now probably my top 10 favorite companies. They're just on the ball. So I don't know how much of the rules that they've changed. I know that there was a few things in the game that probably could have been streamlined and stuff, but now I wonder if those are stickers or printed. I hope they're printed.
That's a lot of stickers
I
otherwise.
sure hope they ain't stickers.
Yeah, this game just looks really good. And I've already played the game, so I know the game is good. And that's it. You're just basically getting the stuff you need to then go out on missions.
A deluxe version of a game you know you like. There's nothing bad about that.
Indeed. All right. Animal Chemists.
It's Animalchemists, I think.
That does make more sense.
Huh?
Wait, how do you know?
Animal chemists.
Yeah.
Animal chemists.
It's animal and alchemists.
Yes.
Animalchemists, I
Animal
guess.
chemists.
I like the artwork of it, actually. It's just a small little game. It's funded. I don't know
It
how.
looks pretty, definitely. I like the look of all that artwork.
Yeah, I like the little potions, the animals. It has a good.
very good.
It has a good feel to it. So I'm hoping it is an okay game. Then that guy's eating it.
Yeah, that's the Hungry Gamer. He was eating Queen Bee, too.
Oh, was he?
Yep.
Well, I guess
That's his shtick.
that's his
That's
shtick.
his thing.
That's a wrap. The game of Filmmaking Frenzy. This is another smaller game, but I want to take a look at these things. I like the concept of this. Make your own movie.
Yep.
What do you guys think about like the look of it?
I like it. This caught my eye for sure.
Yeah.
This looks different than other artwork. Is the best way to, I guess, to say it. I mean, it doesn't look as we mentioned some of the artwork looks generic. This may or may not be your style, but it looks different than other games.
Yeah, I got far down enough where they were talking about it being a bidding game. I was like, I don't know about that, but I like the idea. I like the look.
I'm hoping
all
that it's a
this.
fun game in the sense of, okay, so it's a game bid, whatever, and then when you're done, you're like, here's this funny movie I made.
I hope so too. That's what I'm hoping to get out of
Reminds me
this.
of Trump Fabric.
People's reviews
Yeah.
seem to be talking about that, the theme. So I don't know where the mechanisms are going to be at, but hopefully it's a fun game that then allows you to have fun with the movies you made.
Yep.
All right, District 9, the board game. Now, I still haven't seen District 9. I don't know much about it. I know it's about aliens living, and it's like an allegory, from what I understand,
Yes.
the movie.
Very much so.
That looks kind of cool. When I first glanced at it, it looks like that Pandasaurus
Yeah.
Wasteland Express game. It has that same kind of look to it.
Yeah, these are not actual full-on hexes. One side or a couple of the different sides have strange shapes to them, and they fit together like puzzle pieces, but they are still hexes.
Oh, weird. So that just means they have to go with that exact
No,
piece
I think
then.
that's a single piece.
I don't
That's one piece. That's one piece, right?
know.
Otherwise, that's insanity.
I
not
can't
insanity.
figure out which piece goes where.
At that point, just give me a board if they have to fit that well together.
This
Like,
is like the
single
worst
piece.
puzzle ever. That does look cool though. I like how this looks. I don't remember the movie wasn't anything about a war, right? It was more of a
Really, but I could see it was definitely a conflict movie.
No, yeah, it was. I mean,
there is militaristic tones.
It's been a
to
long
it.
time since I've seen it. I have watched it. I've watched it a couple times, but it's been a
neat.
while. But
man. I like the artwork on this one too,
Yeah.
though.
what I liked about this is that each faction has their own set of miniatures, and they're all different from the others.
I like double shotgun dude there, because he has a fedora on. That guy's ready to go. Yeah. Who's the company who made this one here? This is from Weta Workshop.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
they've
good.
done.
They did it the first time, also. I think.
Huh?
This is like a reissue, so they did it the first time. They did that.
It was canceled. Oh, they did GKR. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that one you played that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
really
So
enjoy it, so.
this didn't fund. It was that back in April. I thought I saw this before.
Yeah.
So now it's definitely funded.
Right.
All right. Crossroll Hong Kong, a strategic roll and write game. This one looks like a game that we would get in the mail from this, but
And then it doesn't have any English rules, so we can't play it.
right. But this one looks pretty cute,
good,
actually.
yeah.
I'm not a huge roll and write guy necessarily, but that one looks more fun than most as you're trying to cross off the paths. Whoever did this one looks like they're killing it.
Yeah,
I don't know how the game plays.
It looks a little messy that way. I wouldn't have crossed them out like that. Maybe like for your Kickstarter, put a little tiny X on there.
Sam would have carefully
It's
filled
like
in the
stitches.
circles.
Yeah.
Looks like stitches. I'm sure after it funds, Bonacor will pick it up.
Yeah. Alrighty, then After the Empire. I thought this would be your pick of the week.
Very close to it. Very close to it. I'm just not. I don't know what it was.
This is from Gray Fox Games, which we really like them.
I really like Gray Fox Games. It's got a lot of hype. I've been seeing a lot of commercials and ads for it all over the Geek, and it pops up on my browsers and stuff like that. So it looks really good. I don't know.
Now, I will say that this project has had some controversy because this is the one that it funded, and then they pulled the fund. They pulled it to redo it, even though it had funded. It just didn't fund as much as they wanted it to. But again, I really like the stuff that they do. So
No, it looks really good, and it was really close. I just didn't want to pull the trigger on giving that one my.
And the last thing is Dice and Ink, a roll and write anthology. Get 10 by 11 different designers. How's that?
Nope. Big
No?
pass. I'd rather you give me one good game than 10 mediocre ones.
Yeah, but how do you know they're mediocre?
Because I assume if you need to package 10 of them together, they're mediocre.
Interesting. Who are the designers? Did they have them listed down here?
I need to step away for a second, fellas. Thumbs down from this one. Bang.
Ryan Hoy, Nat Levin, Robin Gibson, Alexander Shen, Joe Montgomery. I'm just saying oof because that one didn't show anything.
Yeah.
Joe Montgomery.
This had absolutely no appeal whatsoever.
I like the idea of an anthology. The anthology to me is that golden goose.
Yeah.
I always hope they're good, and they never are.
But when has it been good? I mean, way back when, I remember Richard Borg had a game that was part of some anthology. I can't even remember the name.
Stonehenge.
Yes.
I definitely remember. It was a racing game, and you didn't even use chariots. You used like whatever weird pieces were in the game.
Correct. And it was just weird, and none of the games were really good.
His was the best, and it wasn't that good.
Exactly.
And
I just
yeah,
don't
these
know.
anthologies. I mean, this is not the same thing. And the anthology for that one, they all have to use the same piece and the same board.
Yes.
Here it looks like they're just using
different.
the same dice, and there's different pads. Again, it might work, and maybe it's some of the only way that people would buy these. Like these designers aren't well known, so
Right.
maybe they can't carry a game on their own per se. You know what? I would back it actually, because they're roll and write games. I don't expect them to blow my mind anyway. They're okay for $35. That's not bad to get 10 games. If you like 3 of them, you're good.
Guess. I don't know. It just seems like you're throwing money away.
Well, you could say that about any
you're.
game, really.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, I'd rather save my $35 and put it towards a game I know I'm going to like.
Well, you can just pay $15 to get the print and play.
Yeah, somebody asked me about print and plays on on my Q&A the other day.
You're not a fan.
Oh, I am not even close to being a
For
fan.
roll and write, it's not so bad because you only have to print the sheet. You don't have to print cards and cut them.
True, and you probably already have your own dice that you can use. I get that. So this is maybe one of the ways where you can kind of pass it off as being, okay, I'll spend $15. It's, you know, I'm saving 20. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. This is not even close to. I don't have anything against roll and write games. I probably even like them better than Tom does. But this just does not strike my fancy at all.
I'm gonna pack it right now. Oh wait, I probably have to sign in. Alrighty, well let's keep moving.
September 15th. Fans of the Victorian England Euro-style economic simulation Obsession will be looking forward to the launch of the Upstairs Downstairs expansion. It introduces 4 new servants, enables 5 players, and adds the Howard family with their legendary cook. Upstairs Downstairs also includes new service and improvement tiles and new casual and prestige guests. September 17th. Titan is a network construction game set in the distant future in which players are mining Saturn's largest moon, Titan, for precious deuterium. The 3D mining crater that makes up the game board has an incredible table presence. That thing is huge. This may be the most intensely thematic Eurogame I've seen. Also launching September 17th is Manchukuo, a worker placement game in which you build and serve your community by day and run a secret martial arts school by night. I love that theme and the look of the art in this game. Here you can see some of the different schools. September 23rd. AEG will launch The Cliffs of Cold Harbor, an expansion for Edge of Darkness, on September 23rd. This expansion will feature 12 new locations and their advancements. For those new to this card crafting deck building game, the original Edge of Darkness Guildmaster pledge will also be available, albeit with a $20 price bump. I hate it when they do that. September 24th. Last but not least, Time of Legends Destinies is a standalone app-driven role-playing game set in the Time of Legends Joan of Arc universe. Joan of Arc has received some pretty favorable reviews, so expectations are high on this one. The 2 games will share some of the same miniatures. Of course, there will also be new ones, and some of those will be compatible with both games. It was hard to choose this week. There were several other projects that made my shortlist. If I left out your favorite, please let me know in the comments below.
All right, folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and hey, it is I, Edward McClintock, formerly known as Pete Latimer, Special Agent on Warehouse 13.
Indeed.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Let's go check out some previews.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, folks, first up we have Rakers. Now, this is a unique experience game. We actually, not only do we have a Dice Tower preview for this, but I got to have Becca Scott on my show for the preview because I was on Game the Game with her on Geek and Sundry. So our show, our preview, turned into a bit of an after show, so you'll want to check this out. It was a ton of fun. We had a blast with this game. It is a deck builder, but it got some pretty interesting elements to it as far as deck builders go, so give it a closer look. Next up, we have Mint Cooperative.
Welcome back to Mintopia. This go around, you are playing a superhero, trying to bring minty freshness back to the fair people of Mintopia and squash those evil villains. We have Gorillic, we have Gingivitis, and Nicotine, all villains that you're going to be dealing with.
So yes, in this version of Mint, you are playing cooperatively, which is a little bit different than their previous titles, and has a bit of that pandemic vibe to it. And I'm always impressed with these games. So much game in a tiny tin in a itty bitty living space. And the fact that you're playing as superheroes trying to save Mintopia from the evil Gingivitis, and all the different naming conventions of all the heroes and the villains are pretty clever. Again, this is a game where you're trying to save the cities by adding more mints, keeping the citizens safe and minty fresh. Next up, we have Board Royale, the Island.
In Board Royale, the Island, you were stranded on a desert island somewhere in uncharted waters. And it is up to you to survive, be the last man standing, eliminating your fellow players at the table, or escaping off the island. The first one to do so is going to win the game, and this might be one of those games that ruins friendships. So yes, this is a survival game, trying to live on this island and gather resources and weapons to take out your fellow survivors. Be the last man standing. There's a fair amount of take that in this game, so that's something to keep in mind. But these games do play quick and fast, and all the different items you can find and all their different combinations, and also you can play peacefully. You can escape the island instead. It's all up to you how you play this one. Next up, Glory, a game of knights. You'll take on the role of a young knight, searching for fame and glory, scouring the countryside, fighting in tournaments, trying to find relics, and eventually perhaps having enough fame that one day minstrels will write songs about your deeds. So yes, this is a worker placement, but the theme really does come through on this one. And you are trying to gain more fame as a knight and be more powerful, more popular, have more resources. And moving to the tournament is a pretty interesting mechanic in this game. It has a real nice twist, and moving up the tree and how that works. And you can even play in a couple different modes where you're playing against your fellow players in the tournament, or you can do it just against random knights that are more like NPCs. Then we have Future World Creator. There are a ton of different tiles here. You've got cityscapes, you've got alien planets, you've got starships, you've got post-apocalyptic worlds, all kinds of different things. But there's also a companion app, a web app, to allow you to lay out your worlds and kind of pre-plan before you actually build it out on the table. So this is not a game, it is a world creation system where you can create vast amounts of worlds for your RPG adventures, or even I could see this being used to prototype some of your board game ideas. Tons of tiles, characters, figures, and just a fantastic world building system. So my pick this week, shouldn't be a surprise really, is Rakers. I had so much fun with this game and all the content I got to create around it. Highly recommend you check it out. All right, folks, so if you want any more information about the games, any of the games I've mentioned here, please go check out my full previews. And I have to give a big shout out and thanks to my buddy Eddie McClintock for joining me from Warehouse 13. It was so much fun to see you and hang out at DragonCon. And folks, if you know anything about the Warehouse 13 show or board game, keep an eye out for potential expansion, maybe coming soon. So keep your eyes on Kickstarter for that. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding right now, and maybe I have a fear of missing out on it, and maybe you do too. We'll go ahead and take a look together. Today I'm going to take a look at a board game based on a popular app and see how well it fares in board game form. Today I'm going to take a look at Reigns the Council. So we were taking a look at Reigns the Council. This is a board game based on the app where players are going to be taking turns being the monarch, trying to accept or reject proposals while trying to keep their particular reign in balance. To do this, each player who is not the monarch is going to be an advisor, and they're going to have their own secret objectives that they're trying to meet, and they'll have one of these in front of them. For example, this particular advisor might be trying to have low population but a strong economy. This one might want a low power on the church but a strong economy. This one wants strong military but a weak economy. So they're going to have their own objectives, and they're going to be trying to convince the monarch to accept their proposals. In their hand, they're going to have a set of 7 cards, and they're going to go to the monarch with a card, putting it this direction, and tell a story of why I should reject this or why I should accept this. Hopefully accept this, although I have played it where I've actually tried to get them to reject it because I wanted the opposite. On the other side of this card is going to be a set of things that will happen if the monarch accepts it, and a set of things that will happen if the monarch rejects it, and that's going to be played out here. So there's also going to be some storytelling prompts, which you can or can't use, it's up to you, but I might go to the monarch and say, for example, here, this particular card is going to be strong in church, so I may say that we've had invaders coming into our lands, and we need to pay an army to potentially try to fight off that, but the church has offered to assist us in this. Something simple like that. The monarch is then going to receive a set of proposals based on that, and they're going to decide to either reject or accept, and they have to accept at least one. And once they've done that, then they're going to go with the rejects, flip them over, and they're going to adjust. So this is a reject, so it's going to be +2 in the army. This is a reject, it's going to be +1 in the, this is going to be -2 in population and +1 in money. And then over here for my approval, I've got a +1 in the church, -1 in the population, and +2 in the money. So not very well balanced in terms of that. But at that point, each player who got a proposal accepted is going to receive a point, and the monarch's going to keep that one towards their end game, and the others will be discarded. The game's going to go like this with that player, the monarch, until either that monarch gets 12 cards, in which case the reign ends peacefully, or until one of these hits its end mark on either side, in which case the monarch is killed. And then the advisors are going to score points based on their particular goal. So in this case, they needed a weak population, they'll get nothing, but they needed strong money, which ended up in the 3, so they're going to receive 3 points. At this point, you're going to pass and let another player be monarch, and it's going to go around the table like this until all players have had a chance to be the monarch, at which point you're going to count up the final points, and whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. All right, so that is an overview of Reigns the Council. Let's just skip right to the ending of this. I love this. Now, first off, I was not familiar with the app. I had actually never heard of the app prior to them putting this prototype in front of me and explaining to me how this game works. And I immediately was actually kind of, maybe, this seems cool. I'll give it a shot. Then I got to pull it out and play it with people, and I took the first turn as monarch, and I just immediately was like, I love this. I loved getting those proposals, and that's where this game shines, is while I'm a monarch and I'm trying to balance out my kingdom, I love hearing the stories, and I love hearing the advisors play off of each other and try to work their story in with the other story. Kind of reminding me a little bit of the way I used to enjoy playing things like Gloom, where there were these stories and they would build. And then when I became an advisor, I loved telling these elaborate stories. Now, one thing I didn't mention in the overview that I probably should have is on the monarch side, at the end of a round, when they die or peacefully end, the cards that they've gotten from accepted proposals turn into points for them. So that's how the monarch is gaining points during their turn. But really what this game is just a lot of fun telling stories. And you're bluffing, you're lying, you're making up these stories. And it's nice that the cards on the front side of them have those little story cubes or story circles. And those are nice. They're not necessary, but they really do help players at the table who are having trouble coming up with their particular stories. But once you really get going, this is fantastic. I absolutely love the storytelling element. And I loved being a monarch trying to balance out my kingdom and figure out who's telling me truths and who's not. So overall, if you're a fan of the app, go back this right now. This is a no-brainer. If you like party games and you want something new and you like something that's a storytelling-driven game, this is a game definitely worth checking out. The artwork in this game is taken directly from the app. I really enjoyed it. I love the variety of it. And overall, this is going to get a pretty high rating from me. So if it interests you, go check out their Kickstarter page, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
This episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Okay, so I want to go back and talk a little bit about the Evil Dead thingamabobber here. I don't know how that... Oh, there we go.
It's scary.
Yeah,
Scary.
I had blown it up so that the Necromonicon was like staring at us.
Whoa.
But so this
Looks
is
like Jabba
not.
the Hutt a little bit.
Yeah, actually Jabba Hutt's the original Necromonicon, and that's his skin on.
Necronomicon.
Necro,
obviously.
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon.
Anyway, so if you back this project, they say, you are buying it for yourself and for somebody else.
Is it me?
No, because you didn't back the original one.
Oh, Snapple. Got it.
I don't even know who did the original
How
one.
would they know who you're giving the second copy to, or you're not actually giving it to anybody? They ship one to you, one to someone who backed
Sure.
the original.
And I don't think.
They send you the shipping details.
I don't think. Here it is.
address
Here's
of
the
the person they
original
sent it
one.
to.
Evil
You
Dead
can't do
2, the
that.
official board game. It's from Space Goat Productions. And it raised $722,000.
And then it vanished?
I'm guessing so. Has 22,000 comments.
There might
If
be
we go
words
there-
on
I'm
here you might not
there's-
want to have on the
I'm
screen.
sure there are no cuss words.
Oh,
in
we're
there.
on the screen. Don't show the comments. We don't know what they're gonna say.
What
Yeah.
are you doing? I'm like, hey, ho, hey, you know.
Wait a minute, time out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah. So no, that's fine. This game failed and didn't go out to backers, and that
Well, it didn't
happens.
fail. They didn't make it.
So they stole people's money or whatever.
Yes, or whatever happened, but basically it ended up being people's money's gone.
Now, this is not the first time that this sort of rescue has happened. I remember Renegade games when Renegade first was starting out in the industry, or was it Cryptozoic? No, it was Cryptozoic because Renegade was still part of Cryptozoic at the time.
Okay, what did they do?
Cryptozoic rescued the Doom that came to Atlantic City.
Yes, I remember that.
That
That's the
one-
only one I know of that went through a similar thing.
Right, and then they said, hey, we're going to make sure everyone gets it. Now, the cynical part of me thinks, nice PR move. You know, and you can't argue that it's going to be a PR
Of course,
move. Right?
of course.
But at the same time, it is a nice thing to do. You don't have to do it.
They don't have to do that.
Now, the question here, though, is how do you feel as a backer? So that's what I'm asking you, the viewers, but I'm also asking you. Do you feel like you care? Like, ooh, does it make you feel good? I'm backing this and someone else gets it. Does it make you feel like, well, that's not my thing. Why am I covering someone else?
The only reason it feels good, I think, is because it doesn't feel like you're paying for two copies. It's so cheap.
Chrissy Stern, I believe that there's two different companies that work here. The original company, Space Goat, is the one that defaulted on their Kickstarter. This one
It's
is
somebody
not
else.
Space Goat.
No, Jasco.
It's somebody else.
Yeah.
And they are basically giving copies of this game for free to people who backed the other game.
Which is not, and it's not the same game. They just have the same theme.
Correct. Yeah. So somebody was. So they were saying. So
Just to
wait, they're taking
clarify
money again.
Just to clarify.
Why are
that,
we?
yeah.
You know, the
Oh
idea
yeah, you're right. That I do
can
not
clarify.
recommend that
Right,
at
right.
all. If they took their money the first time and they don't deliver, that's a bad idea to back them a second time. That's like the guy's like, "Can I borrow $20?" Then he goes, spends it in the slot machines, come back and goes like, "Can I have 20 more?" You're like, fool me once.
Yeah.
Right, of
Yeah,
course.
exactly. So yeah, that's just point of clarification. That's all.
So my concern would be if I was backing the Evil Dead 2. I don't care about this theme as much, but let's say I did and I wanted it. I would be concerned that this is a noble gesture. Are you going to lose your shirt on it? And I don't know that I want to back that. I mean, I guess they have their funding goal, so they know. But 190,000. Look how much the other one made.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I mean, $59 for 2 copies of that game.
There's a lot of stuff in that.
You ain't making hardly any money on
If
that
any,
venture.
yeah, I mean, it seems
Come
weird.
on, there's. It's great as a kind of a good Samaritan type move. I mean, I totally I'm on board with that, but I just don't see how are they going to put themselves in financial jeopardy. I don't know how big Jasco Games is. I
No,
don't think
they're fairly
Jasco's
good size.
I don't know if
I
they're
think
that
they make
big,
board
but-
games, but they also do collectibles.
Okay.
Yeah, they do a lot
They're
So
of.
they've
big
got their hands
company.
in other pies.
I
Okay,
think so.
got it. Well, I don't have any problem with it.
And Evan says he has no interest in the game, but he's
Right.
backing it to help out people who got screwed.
Right.
That's noble, and I have no problem with that. I'm just hoping that it works out. It doesn't look like it's going to fund anyway, unfortunately. I mean, it still could if they get a wave of boosting at the end.
Right.
It's just an interesting idea. I like the concept of it, but would you back it if you were one of those original backers? Like, I'll back this game, and the person who gets the free copy is me.
Well, that's That's kind of a backwards way to go. I mean,
You could do it though, right? I'm
game
getting
in
two
the game
How
at
do you
that
copies.
point.
guarantee you're getting one?
Yeah, how would you do that?
I would back it. If I was really interested in the original game, they screwed me over, and another Evil Dead 2 game showed up,
Right.
I would back it if it was all about the theme, right? Assuming that's all I cared about, the original one. I'd back it anyway, because how am I guaranteeing that someone's backing my copy for me? I don't know how the system works behind the scenes, but
Right.
I'd end up backing it anyway. So I'm thinking that this is a fantastic PR move, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the people who are original backers are straight up backing this, which means their second free copy amount will not be every backer of the original game.
Okay.
So behind the scenes, I'm assuming they're saving a lot of copies that way.
Maybe.
And yet, the campaign says, we're shipping one out for everyone you back. I don't think they'll end up having to do that, is my point.
True. So maybe they're not going to lose as much money as it seems like they're going to.
Maybe. Right,
Well, Evan
maybe.
says they made deals with the manufacturers and others and are basically selling these at cost. If that's the case, then it's straight PR. They're not making any money on it.
Right.
And maybe they're then expecting that they'll produce the game and then sell the game itself.
How did they
Post
get the
Kickstarter.
information of the people who backed the original game?
Yeah, I don't. Well, maybe you. Well, you could maybe just. You could go to a Kickstarter page and see who's backed it. You don't know everything about it.
But
You
how
could
are you
say.
going to get their personal information?
Buy it online, sound like you got everybody else's information.
Not legal.
No, or you could just say, hey, if you backed it, send us like an email that shows you're a backer of this project. You can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So-
interesting. I think it's a good PR move, like you said. It is noble. I'm not saying that they're doing it only to be like, ha ha ha, we're gonna get so much good publicity from this. It's a good move. I thought the same thing when they did the Atlantic City one. I was like, this is a cool idea, man. That's nice.
Yeah.
To try to recover a little bit of that bile that this has brought to the hobby.
That's your Kickstarter? That's a nice Kickstarter.
Yeah. I was trying to make an eloquent point, but never mind.
It's one of my superpowers. I can pull the eloquence out of everything.
Thank you. Alrighty, well, there you go, folks. Thanks so much for watching Crowd Surfing this morning, or later on if you're watching it later on. Sam and Roy will be back tomorrow with live board game breakfast. Dice Tower West tickets. Get them before they run out. I just posted a video of our library yesterday. Amazing library, and it's going to Dice Tower West. So, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zee Garcia. Have a great morning.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.